After a Week 1 victory in which the Dallas Cowboys' rushing attack looked decent, the team's two subsequent losses were completely different. In each of the last two games, the Cowboys' leading rusher was Rico Dowdle, who totaled just 30 yards against the New Orleans Saints on 7 carries and 32 yards on 8 attempts against the Baltimore Ravens. With a crucial Week 4 matchup against the New York Giants set for Thursday night, one big looming question for the team has been whether it will opt to bring Dalvin Cook into the mix. Jerry Jones addressed that topic during a recent interview with Sean and RJ on 105.3 The Fan, casting doubt over the likelihood that the move will happen this week. "We've got a short week here, and I don't think that this is the time that you have any real serious roster adjustments," Jones said. "I don't think so, because of the short week for sure." While the Cowboys' running game has been just one of many issues in their consecutive losses, it has been a topic of discussion since the offseason. As for Cook, the question that looms large is whether he can revert to the form fans saw in 2022, when he rushed for 1,173 yards and 8 touchdowns during his final season with the Minnesota Vikings. After the team opted to move on from the veteran back, he landed with the New York Jets and struggled to get going, along with the Jets' offense as a whole, after Aaron Rodgers' injury. Cook finished last season with 67 rushing attempts for 214 yards with the Jets and signed for the season's final stretch with the Baltimore Ravens, where he received 8 carries for 23 yards in one postseason appearance. Jerry Jones responds to former coach critical comments of Cowboys. Former Dallas Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett, now an analyst for NBC's pregame show Football Night in America, had some choice words about his old team following a disappointing Week 3 loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Not surprisingly, when asked about the topic, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones was also candid in his response to Garrett's comments. Garrett's comments drew plenty of attention for obvious reasons, and The Athletic's John Machota highlighted what the former coach had to say. "They're not a physical football team. Everyone understands this about the Cowboys now. You have to go in there and run the ball," Garrett said. "The last 2 years they were dominant at home. I think teams have found the formula. Run the ball, get ahead, and that's what silences that pass rush. The Ravens controlled most of this ballgame because they handed it off and dominated the line of scrimmage." Jones was then asked about those comments and whether he agrees that the Cowboys aren't a physical football team during a recent episode of Sean and RJ on 105.3 The Fan, which he called a cliché opinion. "No, I know that's Jason Garrett's philosophy and agree with it in many ways. Let me say this, when you hear people saying they've got to run the ball, and they say they've got to stop the run. Do you know that almost every conversation in the world starts that way?" Jones stated. "That's like saying, we've got to unlock the front door of the store. So that's such a cliché." Garrett's comments, while certainly noteworthy, are hard to argue with, at least from the standpoint of the running game. The Cowboys have now dropped 2 consecutive games and totaled 51 and 68 yards on the ground, averaging 3.2 yards per carry in both matchups. To make matters worse, no single player rushed for more than 32 yards in either loss. Rico Dowdle was the team's leading rusher in both games, finished with 30 yards against the New Orleans Saints and 32 against the Ravens. While the Cowboys nearly pulled off a miraculous fourth-quarter comeback against the Ravens, the result simply provided more areas of concern and reasons to be weary about the team's outlook heading into Week 4. After the Baltimore Ravens beat the Dallas Cowboys 28-25 on Sunday, quarterback Lamar Jackson met with the media. This is what he said about the win, which improved the Ravens' record to 1-2. All quotes are courtesy of the Dallas Cowboys and Baltimore Ravens media relations staffs. On his mindset during the team's final drive. "We need to get a first down. They were making good plays, the opposing team's defense, and we were getting short gains here and there, but we were getting positive yards. I believe we got, for yards, on the first one, 1 yard here, 2 yards here, and it was like, we've got to make something happen. Coach, Todd Monken, called a good play, and I threw it to Zay Flowers. Zay made a great catch, and Dallas wasted their timeout. The rest is history. On telling the guys to finish strong during halftime. Yes, we've got to finish. I didn't like how things were going, we were getting off the field. I believe that we shouldn't be putting Justin Tucker, on the field around that time. We should have been punching the clock in right there. We're up, 28-6, the game is not over. We've been in those situations, 4 years in the past, when we go up, to halftime, come back, and we lose, after, we're up 35-14 and stuff like that. I believe that we've just got to keep doing what we're doing, from the first half, and just keep putting our guys on the field, and keep the defense guessing. I believe that we're going to be in these situations. On his game-sealing run? Yes, it was an RPO, run-pass option. Zay Flowers did what he was supposed to do, he carried out the fake well, I believe, to keep the defense on him, and I just had to make a good read. The whole offensive line did a tremendous job of giving me a lane to get that first down, and we sealed the game. On if he knew that a first down would seal the victory after that aforementioned run. Yes, no doubt, no doubt. Dallas was out of timeouts, and we just had to get that first down. We go through these situations in practice, and for it to come up in a game, we know what we were supposed to do. On hearing the Cowboys crowd erupt when Zay Flowers was tackled, even though Zay didn't have the ball. Yes, but I heard Flock Nation in the building, too, so I wasn't really worried about the Cowboys fan base at all. Hats off to them. They did a good job. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson rips teammate for going live on Instagram after Week 3 victory. Baltimore Ravens star quarterback Lamar Jackson didn't waste any time celebrating after a narrow 28-25 victory over the Dallas Cowboys in Week 3. On the plane ride back to Baltimore, Jackson appeared on teammate Marlon Humphrey's Instagram Live and was clearly not having it. Humphrey asked Jackson how he felt about the Ravens getting their first win of the season. Jackson, who was visibly annoyed, responded that despite the victory, the team didn't play well and needed to keep working to improve. "We got the dub, we gonna keep stacking them," Jackson said. "You shouldn't even be on live right now. We need to be getting right." Baltimore Ravens Lamar Jackson critiques team's performance after narrow victory. This wasn't the first time Jackson expressed his frustration with the Ravens' performance this season, especially after a disappointing 1-2 start for a team that many viewed as one of the best in the league. Immediately after the win over the Cowboys, Jackson told Fox Sports' Tom Rinaldi that he didn't like how things unfolded at the end of the game and that they shouldn't have allowed the Cowboys to get that close. "The game is not over until it is 0-0 on the clock. I don't like how things were going towards the end," Jackson said. "I felt like we should have put more points on the board, we should have just put the gas on the pedal when we were up 28-6. Baltimore Ravens, Dallas Cowboys, Derrick Henry. Jackson's demeanor during Humphrey's Instagram Live was consistent with how he appeared in the on-field post-game interview with Rinaldi. This is the attitude the Ravens need to adopt if they want to turn things around and reclaim their status as one of the top contenders to represent the AFC in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans.